to gather together a few Swedish prostitutes, so I'm opening a boulder dealership. There's one rule, you can't turn the lights off. My wife came up to me worried yesterday and said, "Oh God, I think my eggs are making a film." I said, "Stop overreacting." I set fire to all my Agatha Christie books this morning because I'm a Poirot maniac. So I got the Ron seal out the other day so I could wood stain my shed. But when I stood back to admire my handiwork, it just looked like a load of late 19th century paintings. It does exactly what it says on the tin. So I popped to the supermarket, and when I came back, there was a bunch of druids around my car chanting and giving me a ticket. I didn't realise it was a pagan display. Have you seen this show about a guy from Essex who falls in love with the German Ministry for State Security? It's called Gavin and Stasi. This has to be, hands down, the most unsuccessful auction ever. I went for a pint with Bilbo Baggins, but as soon as we walked in, the bum went, "Oi, you hobbit." The lock on my front door is at the bottom because I like to make a low-key entrance. I had a bunch of buttercups delivered to my wife the other day. When the delivery driver came up, she noticed there wasn't the little glow under his chin, and she said, "Don't you like butter?" And went, "No, we're into flora." So I was in Amsterdam recently. I saw a nun walking about, all shocked. She was like a habit in red lights. There is a time and a place for recipes with just 2 ingredients. I'm reading the dictionary at the moment. I'm halfway through W. Whatever next? Operation Desert Storm. That was a difficult board game. Slow burners, if I'm after uni, I wanted to try out for the Olympics, so I spent my gap year javelin. And my local hairdressers, they've all got DVD players now, while getting your hair cut. And the lady next to me was getting her hair dyed, and she was complaining because they only had Rocky IV. And the hairdresser said, "Look, you can watch this or have your hair dyed. What is it going to be?" And she said, "Okay, give me the highlights." He said, "Well, Apollo dies, but Rocky wins." I bought a hole that looks into a lady's changing room. Oh, that's good. But I can't see anything when I look through it. It turns out I've been missold PPI. So, for reasons I won't go into, I was recently in police custody. And at the station, I was made to read this piece of paper. And it said, "A transparent optical element with flat polished surfaces which reflect light, refract." Sorry, physicists. It was about then I realised I was facing a prison sentence. So while I'm in the same pub, I went to a pub with a mate, and he said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Oh, I'll have a pint of Guinness, Jaeger bomb, packet of nuts as well." And he went, "Oh Christ, I get some Japanese rice wine as well, will I?" I said, "All right, no need to get sake." My little brother started making his own crosswords. So, for example, he's done one which is a wet hole in the ground with a buckety thing on a rope. Oh, he means well. So before I came here tonight, my wife said to me, "Can you put the bins out?" So I pointed to them and said, "You'll never amount to anything, you big green bastards." I'm quite sad at the moment because I keep chickens, but they start going missing. I know it's my cat because I fell down in the dumps. So I found a classic composer crouched in my wardrobe. I was like, what are you doing? He went, shh, I'm hiding. There's this reality TV show on last night, which was just a circle of wild pigs. Boring. I'm reading the singer of the Velvet Underground's biography at the minute. Someone said, is that Lou Reed? I went, no, I prefer a magazine with my own shit. A friend of mine told me he's going to buy a combine harvester that his girl he likes. I said, what are you going to do with that? I said, a tractor. I was in a children's ward recently, and one of them was making The Simpsons out of cantaloupes. And I went up to him and I said, oh, you've got a cute melon, Homer. And he just started crying. Last one. So I was out walking and I saw this pub, and outside there was one of those A-frames that said, and on it said farting competition. So obviously I went in to have a look, and they were being judged on all sorts of like length, aroma, volume, that sort of thing. And one by one they went up, and to varying degrees of success. And then the last guy came up, and he's a skinny little guy who looked like he couldn't produce anything. And he stands in the middle of the stage, and he whips his trousers off, and he's standing there, and he's grunting and trying as hard as he can to produce something, but there's nothing coming out at all. And all of a sudden, there's the tiniest hisp, and then and he stands back, and there's this huge great turd in the middle of the stage, and he's standing there, and the judges say, look, obviously we have to disqualify you, but you've made solid effort. That's